Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Before I begin my homily, let me extend to all of you, from my wife, Cheryl, and our family, to you, our parish family, the most blessed, safe, and Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. Dreams. We all have them. We know we do. Many times when we dream, though, we don't remember the dream when we wake up. But other times when we do, there are typically one of two types of dreams. They're either that very good dream that you wish would last forever, that you could fall right back asleep and continue with that same dream. The other is on the complete opposite of the spectrum. One of those dreams that when you wake up and you see you still have hours to go, you're afraid to go back to sleep for fear you'll pick up right where you left off. In our gospel reading today from Luke, we hear a story of a dream. And in fact, the dream was from a very unique individual, as we heard, and it was a very unique dream. And on Friday this week, if you happen to be looking at the daily readings, or we're at a Mass in one of our churches, you would have heard the Gospel reading from Matthew, where we heard a very same dream. The difference only being that this dream was one had by Joseph. And in both dreams, they were basically the same, as we heard in our Gospel reading just now. We hear this teenage girl having an angel come to her and telling her in the dream that God has chosen her to be special, that she was to bear his son. In the reading on Friday, Joseph had a similar dream where an angel came to him and told him he was to take his fiancée into his home, even though the baby she was going to have would not be his. Now, I don't know about you, but I imagine there were many, many different emotions going on in both Mary's head and in Joseph's head as they heard this message from God through the angel. But I do know, and you know, if you were listening close to the reading, there had to have been fear in both of their hearts and probably in both of their eyes and in their minds. Because in both the dream to Mary and the dream to Joseph on Friday, the angel said one thing that was identical in both. Do not be afraid. They obviously had fear of the unknown, fear of what was to come, fear of what this was all about, having an angel speak to them. But their love of God and their faith and trust in God was so great that they allowed it to overcome that fear. This week, as I was preparing this homily and I was going over the readings and reflecting on the readings, two things struck me. The passage, do not be afraid, and the answer they both gave is yes. This welcoming answer of yes, where Mary said yes to carrying that baby and raising that baby, and Joseph said yes to bringing them both into his home. So as I was preparing, I was trying to think every time I sat down to work on the homily about a time in my life where I was welcoming to either another individual or to a group of people. And God, as only he could do with his sense of humor, must have been laughing at me, because every time I sat down to do that, he gave me just the opposite memory. He reminded me of a time, my earliest memory, going back to my childhood, of a time when I was just the opposite of being welcoming, where I was unwelcoming. Let me share that brief story with you. I was in the 5th grade here at St. Coleman School. I had been waiting for 2 years to be able to be on the JV basketball team. And the day had come. First day of practice, first day of tryouts. My whole day was just still thinking about that. Couldn't think about anything else during school. I get home that night, I have dinner, and I'm getting ready to leave for practice. And my parents said to me, take your brother with you. My brother was in 3rd grade. And I'm thinking, I don't want to take my brother with me. I've been waiting all my life for this opportunity. So I didn't want to take him. I didn't want to be welcoming to him and to what my parents had asked of me, mainly because I knew about the coach. Trying to find the kindest words to describe. He was passionate about coaching, very enthusiastic, and we were all terrified of it. And I was afraid if I brought my brother into the gym with me, I was going to get it the very first day of basketball practice. But I couldn't say no to my parents, so I said yes. My brother and I went to the gym, and just before we walked in the door, I said to him, Chuck, he's actually sitting over there tonight so he can confirm this story for you. I said, Chuck, sit in the corner, don't say a word, don't be seen, don't be heard, just stay out of the way. Don't move. So he went in and did that. Practice had been going on for more than 2 minutes, and all of a sudden the whistle blows and the coach stops practice. And he says, looking right at my brother, whose brother is this? I didn't laugh. My reaction was terror. I thought I was in trouble the very first day. So I was lucky enough to be standing behind a 6th grader so I could kind of hide for a moment because I didn't have a guess to say no. But then he said again, whose brother is that? I had to put on my hand. Didn't even have the voice to say no. He looks at me, then he looks at my brother, and he says, where are your shoes? I said, I don't have them. He said, bring them to practice the next time. I breathed a big sigh of relief, got through practice. My brother was on the team in 3rd grade, and I was on the team in 5th grade. Now, as I was thinking about this week, and reflecting on how I didn't want to take him with me, I was thinking about Mary and Joseph. Thinking about what if they had said no to the angel. No to being willing to be the parents of his son. How might their life, Mary and Joseph's life, turned out so very much different than the way it did? And then I thought, what if I had said no to my parents and wouldn't take my brother to practice? What you need to know about my brother and me, he's been my very best lifelong friend. We played basketball together, coached basketball together, probably from that day 50-some years ago. And if I had said no, maybe our relationship wouldn't be as close as it is today. Now, we are all called to be welcoming people. Jesus calls us all to be that. And we are blessed here at St. Joseph the Worker Parish. Our pastor, Father Frank, from the very beginning of our parish coming together, has made it one of his major goals that not only will we be a welcoming parish, he wants us to be the most welcoming parish in the diocese. And that's a blessing for us. But he is not afraid. Despite the criticisms he's getting for some of the things we're trying to do, he's not afraid because he knows he's doing what God is asking of him. Let me just share 2 of those things that are happening, or will be happening very shortly. We will very shortly be welcoming a family of asylum-seeking immigrants from South America to live in one of our unused rectories. We're going to make it available to them so they can get themselves situated, get on their feet until they can take care of themselves. We also recently, last month, began our new outreach ministry to the LGBT community. A community of people who not only don't feel welcome in society at times, but don't feel welcome in our Catholic Church. We are going to work to change that. One of the ways we're working to make our church, our parish, a welcoming church. So we all need to be able to put aside our fears. Fears of the criticisms, fears of the doubters, and do what God asks of us. So my sisters and brothers, we have 5 days. 5 days left of Advent. And while we are getting ready to celebrate the birth of Christ, we should also be preparing for that time when people come again. And so one of the things I'm going to do this week, and I would offer to all of you to think about doing the same, is ask ourselves 4 questions. 1, am I asking God, what is it you want from me? Second question to ask ourselves, are we listening for God's reply? Are we open to it? The third question, when we hear it, are we answering it? And then the fourth and most important question, when he asks us what it is he wants us to do, are are we willing and courageous enough to say yes? May God bless you all and have a blessed Christmas. Thank you so much.